Hey, kids. You're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining as usual, Cole. How are you doing?
I'm alive.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay. Jacob's here.
Yep.
Yay.
Weird news. Guess who we found on the way into the show today?
A hobo by Sheets?
Yes, his name is CJ Greenwood. How the hell are you doing?
You thought you could get rid of me?
That was the hope, yeah.
Oh, I'm back.
Shit.
I'm latched on, baby.
It's been a while. How have you been?
I've been doing pretty good, just playing games, really. I don't really have anything to say. My life has not changed in 3 years.
Cool. That sounds
depressing.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, ours hasn't changed that much either, so I mean, we're still doing this shit, so.
Oh, what a big happy family. We're not so happy family, whatever.
Cole, anything you want to say? You're like super quiet today.
I am. I'm also very heavily medicated because my back was out this morning.
Oh no, what'd you do?
Yeah. I didn't even do anything. I love that last week before, somewhere in that area, I went hiking and hiked 3 trails and I was fine. And then this morning, I sat upright and was like, this shit hurts.
I know the feeling all too well.
Is it just catching up to you now, or are you just broken?
No, I'm just broken.
Okay.
Remember, I got that bulging disc in my back and that dead nerve root and all that shit, and it's just one of those days that it decided to be pissed off, and here I am.
I don't know. See, I think it's because you exercised. That'll learn you.
Yeah. I exercised 2 weeks ago, and now I'm miserable.
Yeah,
exactly.
That'll teach you.
I think what might have happened is like it caught on to the fact that I've been looking at more hiking trails and stuff for us to go do. And my body's like, we need to like kick her ass in gear and remind her that she's disabled.
Body's like, whoa there, honey. We got shit.
Yeah.
Like, no.
You thought this was a one-time deal, but you're pushing it now.
On the other hand, I just kind of said fuck it and started shopping for like all-terrain wheelchairs and stuff too, so I can, because I miss doing that shit, and doing it a couple weeks ago just kind of like kicked me in the head about how much I've really missed it. But I don't think there's any way I'm ever going to be able to get back to what I was doing without like sucking it up and just going for the wheelchair.
So you're saying you want us to recreate the cliff scene from Mac and Me with you?
I don't understand that reference, but I'm assuming the answer is I probably do not want you to do that.
That's
because
okay,
the idea of being
an alien
anywhere
saves you.
with you is an automatic no. You know?
That's fair. I don't want to do anything with me either.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who gets the Mac and Me joke. That is so sad.
Well, you didn't ask.
Has no one ever watched Paul Rudd on Conan?
Or Mac and Me?
No one's watched Mac and Me. People may have seen Paul Rudd on Conan.
That's fair. Well, I'll send you a link after the show, Cole.
Alright, I probably won't click it either.
Damn.
I'll just see it and go, and then when you ask me about it in 2 weeks, I'll be like, oh yeah, I saw it and totally thought I answered you in my head, but I guess I didn't actually do it.
All right, so I guess my nefarious plan of
Joe's laughing
Mario
because I've done that shit to him and he knows
would be a failure.
Oh man, so should we talk news?
If you're
Probably.
ready.
Everyone's so excited tonight. Oh my god.
I said as chipper as this Vicodin will let me.
And I said, I guess, as chipper as having to be with Cole will allow me. So
And I'm just drinking Arizona Muncho Mango.
Muncho Mango.
Not
No.
sponsored.
I'm drinking Mountain Dew Maui Burst, and hopefully next week I'll be drinking Cake Smash because I'm going to try getting some off eBay.
Yeah, I heard about that. Whoa, I gotta try that too.
Expensive on eBay.
It's not worth it for a drink.
No, it's not at all, but I want to fucking try it. Cake flavored Mountain Dew. I want to try it.
They
Where
got
is
a
that
new
from?
stuff.
What'd you say, Cole?
The cake flavored Mountain Dew. When the fuck did that show up?
It was like a website only thing. You had to buy a 6-pack of the tall cans for $12 plus 8 shipping. And now they're selling for like $15 a can on eBay.
Yikes.
Yeah, I want to get one.
They got that Mountain Dew energy drink one too. That's like a sherbet flavored now.
Oh, I want to
and I'm
try
pretty sure
that
that's
one
gonna
too.
disappear. Yeah, it's already out of stock on the site.
Yeah,
It was super annoying because they have a Game Fuel site specifically just for those drinks. And you can order them, but those ones are all out already.
Yep.
I've got 2 cases of Game Fuel in here, and we opened one and took a drink, and we all passed it around and took one drink and made a horrible face, and it's just been sitting here since.
Game
I
Fuel.
like it.
Yeah.
That's Mountain Dew's thing,
Yeah.
which sounds oddly similar to G Fuel, so it's kind of like hard to.
What flavor
Yeah.
Game Fuel though?
Fuck if I know.
Oh,
I'm not
I
even
don't
gonna lie to
care.
you. They were doing a giveaway down in town, like where there's a food bank in our town, but like they do giveaways where they just have pallets and pallets full of stuff, and you just pull in and they load your vehicle down.
Huh.
And like they're like no requirements or anything, just please come take stuff because they get too full and they can't deal with it. And
geez.
David was coming through, and he was like, "Oh, do you guys need help?" And they said yes, and so he was like loading people's trucks. And then when it was over with and then he went to leave, they loaded a bunch of shit into our truck too. And he was like, "Oh," and they were like, "We have to get it out of here. Please take it." And now I understand why, because nobody wants a fucking Game Fuel. It's nasty.
It depends on the flavor. The cherry one is fantastic.
It depends on the
I think
flavor.
this is just the normal, whatever basic flavor it is, because it's in a green can.
No,
Yeah,
then
that's
yeah,
the
that's not
original
that
Dew.
good.
It tastes like battery acid.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like a worse Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew's already nasty.
It depends on the
Well,
Mountain
then,
Dew.
you know-
I'm
I
ex-
actually kinda
I
like the
will
original.
say
I
there
really,
are
like-
some-
I am super excited to try getting this fucking cake Dew. Like, I want to try it
Yeah.
so bad.
I'm basic enough that I love Baja Blast. So
yeah.
there are some good Mountain Dews.
Code
Mika,
red.
all Mountain Dew is disgusting. Yeah, I can agree.
Band.
Yeah, I agree. So, Cole, remember the other week when I said there were too many games coming to Game Pass?
Yes.
Guess what? There's too many games coming to Game Pass.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, the funny thing is that there's a couple that I've seen coming to Game Pass that I haven't seen. Like, they're in the images or they're in the write-ups, but they're not getting the same amount of fanfare. And I don't know if it's because they've picked a bad time to join Game Pass or
There's just so
if they
much
just
now.
didn't, like, sign the marketing agreement.
Who knows? But this week, we just got a whole bunch of more games added to Game Pass. August 5th. Yeah, we're diving into the news, by the way. August 5th, we got Curse of the Dead Gods, Dodgeball Academia, Katamari Damacy Reroll.
I'm excited for that one because I haven't got to play it ever. I've never played a Katamari game.
Well, now you can because it's on
Yeah,
Game
I know.
Pass. Luminous Remastered.
I need to play that too. I've never played those.
PC got Starmancer on Game Preview.
Oh.
And then EA Play got Skate and Skate 3 on Game Pass too.
Mm-hmm.
All in one day.
That's
Yep.
not bad. Curse of the Dead Gods is such a cool looking game that I keep passing up every time it's $10, and so I'm glad I just didn't have to buy it.
I'm excited to try out that Dodgeball Academia game. Like
That looks
RPG
cute,
Dodgeball. I'm interested.
And I still need to play Omno that joined last month. That game looks incredible, and I just haven't gotten around to it.
We'll be talking about that soon.
Ooh.
Right, Cole?
Mm-hmm. The cat meowed and I looked over at him and completely lost what y'all said.
No.
Not even gonna lie to you. Yep.
So glad you pay attention. So glad you paid. August 10th.
Austin's already bitching at me for getting the review for Katamari, and I didn't. I just sat here and said I've never played Katamari. Pay attention. Clean the
No,
duck poop out
she's
of
mad
your
you got the review of Omno.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
CJ
You could have
mentioned
never
he
paying
wanted to
attention.
play on Game Pass, but you weren't paying attention.
Okay.
Because there was a cat.
I will talk about Omno. Listen, I put 2 out of 3 no, wait. How many did I put in there? 3 are in the bathroom, and 1 is evaded me and is still in here.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't realize that he was sleeping in the corner where it was dark.
Anyway,
yeah.
August 10th. August 10th, a bunch of games are hitting EA Play.
Okay.
So that means they're joining Game Pass. Dirt 4, Dirt Rally 2.0, F1 2020, and Grid 2019.
That's not a bad lineup of racing games. It's probably all from that Codemasters and EA deal that happened not too long ago.
Yeah, they're all Codemasters games. They're all joining EA Play, so they're all coming to Game Pass. Dirt 5 is already on Game Pass, so that's why there's no mention of that.
Yeah, and Grid wasn't a bad game, honestly. I mean, it was a little bit repetitive because there wasn't a whole lot of tracks, but it was pretty fun.
I enjoyed it. Something I'm enjoying, by the way, totally off topic. Forza 7 is going to be delisted next month in September 15th. If you are interested in picking up that game, you should pick it up now. The game is on sale for $10. The Ultimate Edition is down to $20, and that includes all but one of the car packs. It's hitting end of life, which sucks. It's on Game Pass now. They confirmed it will leave Game Pass when the 15th comes along, because licensing, of course, it's going to be leaving. People are like, oh, it's a first-person Microsoft game. Those games are never going to leave. Forza leaves. People. Forza leaves.
Yeah, come on. You know that's going to happen. It's always happened.
Yeah.
I am blown away by how amazing Forza 7 is on the Series X. Like, I've tried playing Forza 7 a bunch of times on the Xbox One. It looks great, plays great, it loads for fucking ever. On the Series X, the races are near instant. There's almost no load times at all. It blows my friggin' mind. That game
doesn't even have the specialization for it either.
No, it doesn't have any update at all. It's just an Xbox One game.
Is that the latest Motorsport one as well?
Yep. Forza 7 is the
latest. It's going to be weird. This is going to be the first time that there's not a Motorsport game on the market.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty weird too when they announced that, because usually there's always at least one Motorsport and one Horizon.
Yeah.
And now it's just one Horizon up until the next one comes out in November, doesn't it?
Horizon, yeah.
September, I think.
It's sometime this fall. I don't.
Yeah. Either way.
November 5th.
So there'll be 2 Horizon games that are still in the life cycle, but no Motorsport games, which is kind of weird.
Yep. Until probably next fall when the new Motorsport game comes out.
Probably. Because it was already announced. It was like a reboot, too. They didn't call it 8. I think they're just calling it Forza Motorsport.
Yeah. I think they're trying to make it more like a platform instead of a bi-yearly release, which would be nice if they would just update it instead of crank out a new game every other year.
Yeah, because while it makes sense for the Horizon series, since you can change locations every other year, it doesn't really make sense to not just update one game with new tracks and new cars as they come out.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of racing games, August 12th, Art of Rally is coming to Game Pass.
I'm so fucking excited for that game. It looks fantastic.
It does.
I love minimalistic art design like that.
What was the other game that they did? The other Rally game.
I have no idea.
Shit, same developers, but something Drift. Shit, what was it? Absolute Drift. There we go. Thanks, Carnage. August 13th, Hades. I can't
on my birthday.
Hades is finally coming. Who else is excited for Hades?
Time.
That's a gift from Microsoft
for that week.
Too bad. And then August 17th, this was a weird one. Microsoft Solitaire Collection Premium Edition on PC. You're going to get ad-free Solitaire.
I'm not mad about it.
Me neither.
I'm not even a little bit mad.
That's a cool benefit. I'm down with it.
I was going to say,
I'm surprised it wasn't like that already.
I already checked it out, and funnily enough, it actually works on my work laptop, which we have to log in with our own different Microsoft login, but the game accepts my own personal one for Xbox Live. So then I've been able to play it. I mean, when I'm off the clock, in case anybody from my workplace is listening.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But, it's nice that it's finally going to work. And this thing has achievements, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Cool. So.
Yeah,
Good thing, because they're very long, so you'll have plenty to do while you're not at work. Quote.
When I'm definitely off the clock.
Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, though, with all the games coming to Game Pass, there are games leaving Game Pass. August 8th, we are losing Grand Theft Auto 5.
Okay.
Which,
I mean, if you don't already own it, you've had, 12 years to do it?
Yeah, and it's coming out again anyway, so.
Yeah, so stop crying.
August 15th, we're losing a chunk of games. Ape Out and Crossing Souls are leaving Windows 10.
Oh, no.
Ape Out's a cool game.
I haven't played Ape Out yet. Yeah, I need to do that one.
Hop 2. And then we are also losing Darksiders Genesis, Don't Starve Giant Edition, Train Sim World 2020, and Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh, okay, so I'll need to pick up Final Fantasy VII. All right, good to know.
I'm more sad about Don't Starve if I didn't already own it, because I bought it when it came out. But fantastic game, and it's worth playing beyond just cheating the achievements that everybody did. It's actually a good game.
Excuse me. I did that just fine, thank you. I have no complaints about the
Play the game.
I did want to play the game, but it was one of those where it's just I never had time. And when somebody said easy achievements, I was like, I can carve out 10 minutes.
Have they fixed?
Give you 10 minutes.
No.
Have they fixed said easy achievements?
No, you can still do it.
Okay, what game is this again?
Don't Starve Giant Edition.
Don't Starve Giant. Okay. Alrighty.
It's small too, so you can download it fast.
Fantastic. Which I'm definitely not doing right now.
Well, I wouldn't do it immediately unless you want to start sounding like a robot.
Anyway, PlayStation Now. Remember that service?
What's that?
They're getting a few more games in August.
That sounds
boy,
a lot
can't wait
like
to
not
stream
Game
those.
Pass.
It's nowhere near the level of Game Pass. I mean, they are getting some good games, though. They're getting a hell of a lineup, but there's only 3 of them. They're getting Nier Automata until November 1st, which is cool. Nier's awesome. They're getting Ghost Runner. And then
That's good.
That's a good one.
Undertale.
Ah.
So 2 of those 3 we already have over here anyway.
Yeah.
Nier Automata looks cool, though. It's a game I've been meaning to get into and will certainly leave Game Pass before I do.
Yeah, so you should probably hop to it.
I don't got time. I got to shoot things in FPS games.
Final Fantasy. You did say Final Fantasy VII is leaving. Right now, it is on sale for. By the time this podcast airs, never mind. It's not. It won't be on sale by then.
Why? When does it end?
8 hours from now.
Oh, good stuff.
Oh, it's part of the big
summer sale.
Yeah, it's $8, and it's the standard 50% off that they usually take during the big sales. So, yeah, I'll just wait till next time then.
Why? Just fucking grab it.
Because I could spend $8 on other things right now. Like, come on, Joe. You know my backlog is now in the quadruple digits. So,
yeah.
Yours it has to be in 5 digits at this point.
I don't even want to know how big my backlog is.
Ugh.
I'm scared.
Don't even talk about Steam, because then it's just, oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, no, because, Xbox alone is easily over 1,000 games, and then my Steam backlog is another 800, so, I'm doing good.
I think I have over 1,000 games on Steam, and I've played maybe 10.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
If I retire now and just spend the rest of my life playing games, I will finish all of my games by the time I'm 234 years old. It seems doable.
It's even better because I keep choosing to play bad games too. What a waste of life.
Proud of you. Which we'll be talking about later.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Anyway, the Switch has reached 89 million units sold.
Damn, and I'm still not one of them.
I think you're the only one on the show now that doesn't have a Switch.
Not because I guess it is because I'm not interested. I don't hate on Nintendo, just not really a whole lot of interest because I don't play with a lot of local friends.
I have one and I hate on it. I have 2 and I hate on it. Come to think of it.
Oh, Aki doesn't have one. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, well. See, there's more.
Yeah, but she's not on the show like
yeah,
right
she's
now.
not here right now.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant.
Yeah. Carnage wants one. See? People in chat.
He doesn't even have one. How? I expect him to own everything that's gaming related ever.
I would say because there's no achievements on it, but there are achievements on it.
Exactly. 2 games.
Minecraft and Ori.
Technically 3 because the achievements in Minecraft Dungeons is just on both platforms, but it shares the list.
No.
Wait, what? So, like, does your gamer score get updated if you play Ori on the Switch?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, as long as you log into your account.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Huh.
Ori
That's
on the
crazy.
Switch has achievements.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I think both games do. Don't they?
guess what I know what I'm going to be
it's
buying
just
for this Christmas.
Blind Forest Definitive Edition. Is Will of the Wisps even on Switch yet?
Yeah.
Then I don't think it has achievements for that one.
I don't know.
Or
Anyway,
they're shared like Minecraft Dungeons.
Shit is going down at Blizzard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Blizzard
noticed.
president J. Allen Brack is leaving the company. Jen O'Neill, the former head of Vicarious Visions, and Mikey Barra, who we all know from Xbox.
Dropping bits!
Hazy JT, thank you for the 100 biddies. Thank you so much. And thank you, Norg, for yelling that out. I have to turn the volume down. That was really loud. But yeah, Jen O'Neill of Vicarious Visions and Mikey Barra, formerly of Xbox, will be taking over as co-leaders of Blizzard. Do you think Mike regrets leaving Xbox?
I'd imagine.
This is his dream job, though. But I don't think this is the way he wanted to acquire his job,
Yeah.
if I had to guess.
Very unfortunate circumstances for him.
Yeah.
But
yeah!
when it all blows over, and it will, whether we like it or not,
Yeah, it's a big corporation. They always recover.
Yeah.
he's probably going to be pretty happy.
Yeah, this is great news for him now, actually. I mean, what a promotion.
Yeah, and he didn't even have to wait that long for it.
No, that was a pretty quick turnaround. But
I think they just
shout
wanted faces that people knew.
shout out to Carnage, who just subbed, and then shout out to Hazy JT, who just gifted 2 subs. One to Aki.
Yeah.
She needs
Stop
one,
that.
obviously. And then one to Shadow Hive 41.
Fucking yeah!
Fucking yeah, right. Thank you, Purnell. I love those sounds. I love them. No one else hears them, but I hear them.
Yeah, it trips me out now. I'm not used to being on this side of the fence.
Yeah.
Last week I interrupted you like 10 times.
Fucking yeah! Fucking yeah! Sony is leaning towards delaying Horizon Forbidden West into 2022.
Yeah?
Yeah, that is the current talk, is that Horizon Forbidden West is going to slip into next year.
My nuts, I thought that had already happened.
No, it was on track for this year, but they're leaning towards a delay.
Well, if they're leaning towards a delay, then I got news for you. It is 100% not on track for this year.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but the stars are not aligned in your favor here.
No. If you bought a PS5 for Horizon, isn't it coming to PS4 as well?
I don't think so. I think that one's just PS5.
Is it? I thought Horizon was one of the dual generations that Sony was going to do. Now that they changed their mind on the whole "we believe in generations" and that bullshit they released.
Maybe that's why they're delaying it then, is to make sure that the PS4 version's ready too.
Maybe.
That would suck for PS5 owners for them to delay it just so that PS4 can get a good copy of the game.
Aki says, can't wait for Horizon 2 to come to Steam. I'm sure it will
I don't care as long as
eventually.
it hits PC eventually.
I'm sure it will eventually. Sony's getting comfy with their PC games.
It's not like it's possible to get a PS5 anyway, so you may as well.
True. Very true. Evil Dead, the game, is now targeting a February 2022 release as well. So that is next year. Jacob, any thoughts on Evil Dead, the game?
I mean, not really. I mean, all I know is that it's coming out. I mean, so I haven't really looked into it.
I feel like I'd be more interested if it didn't look like the exact same game that Friday the 13th was.
I can't get into these multiplayer only games. Except Knockout City. That's the only one I've really gotten into. Still playing Knockout City. Oh my God, I love that game.
Yeah, I thought I would get into like Fall Guys last year, but after a handful of matches, I was already done with it.
Fall Guys is great for like 5 turns, and then that's about it.
Yeah, you get tired of it.
Even the kids, like, they were playing it hardcore there initially, and now they're like, oh yeah, we have Fall Guys. I guess we could play that. And then they go play something else.
He says Fall Guys is great if you cheat.
Well, that is kind of what made me fall off on Fall Guys too. It was like every match I was in, there were people flying around. It's like, what the fuck's the point?
Yeah, it just celebrated its 1-year anniversary as well. Still not out on any other platforms, but...
Really surprised by that.
Remember when they said it was coming to Xbox and then they said never mind?
Yeah. And then Epic bought them, and now good luck to anything.
Marriage is great if you cheat. Oh, God, trash. That's awful. Let's see. The Outer Worlds has sold over 4 million units.
Nice. Congratulations to Obsidian.
Yeah.
Still have to play that game.
And I still have to wonder if the Outer Worlds 2 is going to be Xbox only, or if they're going to release it on other platforms as well. Because they've been very non-committal about the Outer Worlds 2.
Well, it's all going to depend on who owns the rights to that. Does Obsidian, or is it Private Division?
I don't know, but sequel's coming for sure. So,
well, yeah, we know that much. But if Private Division owns the rights, then it's probably going to be multi-platform.
Yeah, I don't know. We shall see. And then there were some acquisitions this week. Nacon has acquired Creature Studios, the developers of Session.
Oh.
Does that mean it'll finally get fixed?
No.
Fuck Session. Oh, is it that skateboard game?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all did too.
Creature's been acquired, so they are now under Nacon's banner. And then Focus Home Interactive acquired .emu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I know that name. What did they publish?
They do a lot of retro stuff. Like they did like the Wonder Boy remake. They did Streets of Rage.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a really good job on Streets of Rage 4, so that's definitely an asset for them.
I think they're working on that new Ninja Turtles game too.
Oh,
they're working on Metal Slug Tactics. That's the one they're working on.
Oh, I was going to say, because I'm excited about that Ninja Turtles game that's coming out.
I can't remember who's working on that one. Maybe it's .emu?
After the last...
Oh, yeah, it is. They are working on Shredder's Revenge. Okay.
As long as it's not like Danger of the Ooze, because that was awful.
Like which one? You were breaking up a little.
Danger of the Ooze. So the one that came out in 2014 for some reason that was terrible.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I like my Ninja Turtles. Anyway, that's the news I have. Anyone else have some news?
No. No. I don't want to know your news. No. What's next?
Wait, Slime Rancher 2 cover art. You can't see it on the podcast anyway because it doesn't translate well. But it's great.
Still better than whatever Jacob's about to say.
Oof.
Damn.
I bet it's about like a TV show or something.
Probably.
No, actually it isn't, Dick. So 2 days ago, a pair of PS5 dev kits ended up on eBay.
Yeah, for like 4 hours.
Yeah, eBay pulled them with no reason given for why they got pulled. People don't know if like Sony had something to do with that, but they were going for about $3,000, or a little bit more than $3,000 after some bids. So
the same price as a normal PS5, yeah.
Yes. So there's that. Facebook has been blocking ads for some indie adventure game called Road 96 for quote unquote being too political. And pretty much it's just the game has you trying to get from point A to point B across a desert highway, going through small towns and dealing with highway patrol and stuff like that. And apparently the scenes of dealing with the cops. It may have been rejected due to quote unquote images, statements, or slogans about social issues such as the economy, environmental policy, or civil and social rights. The makers believe that it was flagged by a bot, but they're not even going to fucking bother trying to, advertise it on Facebook after that, because they're not going to deal with that bullshit.
Yeah.
So
plus Facebook advertising blows.
Yeah. I mean, we spent $10 and look what it got us.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I was trying to look this up, and 18 hours ago or so, Koch Media bought the devs for Road 96 today. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Digix Art is the studio. This is their third game, and yeah.
Have they done anything else that we might recognize, or?
Don't know. Let me see if I can figure it out if I keep reading. Valiant Hearts, The Great War.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Oh wait, I lied. This is one of the guys worked on that. I'm sorry. Because that was actually done by Ubisoft, but he worked on Valiant Hearts. Lost in Harmony was an iOS game. Oh, okay. They did 1111.
Oh, okay.
1111 Memories Retold. Gosh, couldn't spit it out. Save myself there. Yeah. And then the next one comes out in 11 days.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
Even more important news. Play B Simulator this weekend. It's free. This goes up tomorrow, right, Joe?
Goes up on Saturday.
Well, it'll still be free at that point. It's the free play weekend. Play B Simulator.
What else you got, Jacob?
The only other bit, this has been a fairly slow news week because everyone's really just focused on Activision and Blizzard, sucking.
Falling the fuck apart.
Yeah. The only other news is that, and this barely goes into video game news, but fans of the New York Times crossword are pissed because they're pulling their crosswords from the PUZ format, which has been used by multiple crossword apps and programs since the 90s, and the New York Times crossword is just going to go with its own app. So this has the crossword puzzle folks in an uproar.
I like how you said uproar.
Well,
uproar.
I had to find, a six-letter word that, had to deal with, being upset about the state of something.
I would have said uproar. Uproar.
Well, all right.
Roar.
Well, we make fun of Cole enough for her, pronunciation.
Yeah, so now we can make fun of you for one.
Yeah, exactly.
Hooray!
There we go.
Go ahead, Cole. Fucking have at it.
You guys already did. What else is there for me to do? And if I make
fun
fun of him for saying something, then I'm going to turn around and pronounce the same thing fucked up. And I don't need that kind of negativity right now. I'm just sitting here vibing with my Vicodin, and you're like, here, make fun of Jacob for saying something funny. And I'm like, boy, I can't wait till I say it wrong.
Let's put you on the spot now.
Yeah,
that would be karma.
No. That'd be karma.
No, Joe, that just wouldn't be right.
Look here.
Gonna make her be upset and then have to go off and do the wash.
Wash, thank you, not wires. Can't even add an R properly. Lord, it's like you're from the north or something.
Yeah, you can't even say something wrong properly.
Right? I bet you say
God.
Appalachia, too.
I just say long mountain chain I'm not going to ever fucking walk. So, because that involves being outside. Hell no.
Fair.
I'm disabled and I have walked more of the Appalachian Trail than Jacob.
Hey, Cole, Hazy says you sound like Kristen Shaw.
Well, we haven't heard that in a while.
It has been a while since we've heard you compared to Kristen Shaw.
Anybody ready to climb at Mount Irvist?
Irvist.
All right, so should we get into reviews?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, you guys are going to have to wait. Cole's got 2 to take care of first.
Yeah, bitches.
First game to talk about tonight is called Black Book, developed by Morteshka, published by HypeTrain Digital, released August 10th on Xbox One, Switch, PS4, Steam, and Epic Game Store for $24.99. Black Book is a dark RPG adventure based on Slavic myths in which you play as a young sorceress, fight evil forces in card-based battles, explore the world where humans live alongside mythological creatures. Cole, tell us about your time with Black Book.
Listen, I'm going to tell you some of the most important points of this, and you can tell me what you think I'm going to rate this game. We have witches and black cats, and we have a trip to hell to save your husband's soul, and we have card battling, and we have deck building, and we have demons. Where do you think I'm going with this review?
I'm thinking you liked it.
This fucking game was made for me. Like, I lost so much time because I was like, I could just explore and do the story and be done with it. But no, the map has all these little offshoots, and the more offshoots I do, the more offshoots it gives me. And well, fuck it, I might get another opportunity to fight a demon and get something good, so I might as well go do that one too. 2 hours later, I finally finish one mission. And I'm way overpowered. Because shiny object syndrome is strong. The basic premise here, I will not be pronouncing any of these fucking names. Don't even get me to try. But you are a young woman whose husband dies. The theory is that he committed suicide. And because of this, his corpse is unclean, and the town people will not allow him to be buried in the cemetery. Because he's not buried on holy ground, his soul is cursed for hell. You are from a long line of witches, but you've been reluctant to take your role as a witch, and what this game calls a knower. And so, the death of your husband and the desire to save his soul from hell and bring him back, because you don't believe that he actually killed himself and deserves hell, is the driving force that makes you finally go, okay, I'll be a witch, right?
Okay.
Once you become the witch, you'll have to go to the crossroads, do a ritual, and then you have your first fight with a demon. Now, the black book, or what we would typically call a grimoire, is what you will use to cast your spells. So in a normal card battling game, this is where you would have a deck of cards and you would dish them out to do damage and defend yourself. For the sake of this game, instead of cards, it's pages of your grimoire. And then each page has a word on it. And that word can either inflict damage, or it can defend you or buff you, whatever it does. There are rules to how you can use the cards. In place of having action points, which was what you would normally have in a card battler like this, you're able to use scroll cards or pages and key cards or pages, right?
Okay.
So when you start out, you can only have like 2 scrolls and 1 key that you can use per turn, which is the equivalent of using 3 action points, if you will. As you build up your book with different words and different spells and different combinations of pages, you can take them in and out as you need to. You can duplicate them. You have to do all those while you're in your hub at your home, but you can customize your deck by customizing your grimoire. The way that this developer has thought out the process of weaving in all of this magical and elements and the sorcery and the witchcraft into something that would normally be used with cards is incredibly creative. And I was just blown away by the entire concept. It's so well done. When you cast spells, for example, the words will actually come up on the screen as if you're saying them, and then your character will actually do movements that are the animations are different for the different spells. It's really, really intricate and well done. They could have just been like, well, this is a card game, deal with it. But no, they really went all in on this grimoire element, and it carries the game.
That's cool.
I do want to point out there are 4 different difficulties. You don't get punished for playing it on the easier difficulty. The game is perfectly fine with like, hey, you just want enemies to have less health and you do more damage, go for it. It's fine.
Yeah. I like when games don't punish you for just wanting to enjoy the game at your own pace.
There are some secret achievements. I did not check to see. I forgot to, honestly. Forgot to see if any of those secret ones are tied to difficulty, but I don't think they are. I'm pretty sure they're all just story related.
Carnage will chime in if you're wrong.
Carnage will let me know. Carnage will definitely let me know if I'm wrong. But, just for the sake of going into the game and playing, I was popping achievements regularly, and I was just able to play it on an easier difficulty. I would recommend, too, playing the game on the easier difficulty in the beginning, because learning the best ways to build up your grimoire really takes time and practice. And the way that you're going to interact with different circumstances may change with what more you learn by going through the game. There are different endings that you're going to get. There are different routes to the story that you can take. And that's important, especially when you start playing. The game is incredibly dense with information. I mean, this world is thought out to the fucking nines. It's incredible. But there are instances where it will ask you kind of like quiz-like questions, and you can earn skill points if you answer correctly. But obviously, if you haven't played the game and you haven't had a chance to go through the encyclopedia since you've gotten new information or whatever, and you get caught in one of these skill traps, you can be like, oh fuck. But if you're playing it on an easier difficulty, it just means that you may not get a certain option later on. And I haven't found that it makes the game impassable in any kind of way. So it's just like, yeah, you'll get extra skill points if you get that shit right. But if you don't, it's fine. It's not going to end anything. But at the same time, it's one of those, like, if you're just getting into it and you have no idea what the fuck some of these chorts and other characters are, then learning that in the apprentice mode is vital before you go into a harder difficulty, and you really need those skill points. In addition to the cards and everything, there is also a strategy element. You will be cursed with chorts when you become a witch, and chorts are basically like little gremlins who are now in your command. And you can take a shit ton of chorts in the beginning. And if you do that, the more you take, the more you are a sinner. And that leads you to like more negative outcomes. However, the trick with the chorts, I hate trying to pronounce that. The trick with the chorts is that you have to send them to do tasks for you every day and to annoy the townspeople, or they will curse you. So one chort, for example, may have the curse that if he's just hanging around with nothing to do, your defense cards do one less, give you one less shield. Or another one may make it so that you don't earn as much money when you're helping other people. Or another one makes it to where your attack cards don't do as much damage.
These things sound like children.
Yeah. You have to send them out to do things. And sometimes I felt so guilty sending the chorts out, because I had one that they all have different personalities and different traits. And what you get is just a roll of the dice. And I had one that particularly liked to terrorize kids. And so if you send them on a mission to do something in the town and it's what they want to do, they'll get it done quicker, which unfortunately means they come back and get in your hair a little faster, but they will get more money and more, they'll steal more goods for you out of it. If you send them on something they don't like to do, they'll stay gone longer, but because it takes them longer to do the task, but there's not as much reward in it for you. So you're stuck sending them out. You might as well send them on things that they like to do, just so that you get more benefit from it. But then at the same time, you're looking at that list of things that you can send them to do. and you may have one that likes to terrorize children like I did, and you willingly have to send that motherfucker to a farm to steal a farm family's milk so that the kids don't have milk for dinner.
You dickhead.
And you're sitting there going, I don't have a choice. And I started to feel a little guilty for sending the chores out. And the big reason that I took as many as I did was because there's an achievement for having 7 at one time. And so I was like, fuck yeah, give me all the chores. So I could have the achievement. Well, that was before I knew what I had to do with them. And then I was like, boy, it was not kidding when it gives you sin for that and tells you it's going to bite you in the ass.
Oh, Lord. So, overall, what are you thinking on this one? It's $24.99. It sounds like you're enjoying it.
I really did enjoy it. I cannot wait to play some more of it. I think if you like card battlers in any way at all, if you've ever listened to me and been over like Slay the Spire or Pirates Outlaws or Cardpocalypse, and I've raved about all of those and you've played them and been like, yeah, that's great, then here you go. You definitely need to check this one out too. If you're iffy on card battlers, but you still like the idea of the strategy and the witchy elements, I still think it's worth a try. But if for card battling fans, period, this is one of the best ones I've played.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, next game to talk about is Omno, developed by Studio Inkyfox, published by Studio Inkyfox and Future Friends Games, released July 29th on Xbox One and Windows 10 for $18.99, also available as part of Xbox Game Pass. A single-player journey of discovery through an ancient world of wonders full of puzzles, secrets, and obstacles to overcome, where the power of a lost civilization will carry you through forests, deserts, and tundras, even to the clouds. Cole, tell us about your time with Omno.
What an adorable game. Everything about this game is pretty. It's bright, it's full of light and creative little characters and animals that just, and I say little, but that's kind of a lie because one of my favorites was like this big Loch Ness monster looking type of dinosaur creature. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in love with you. You're so pretty. Really creative world where you play as Omno, who's a little staff bearer, and he's trying to figure out, I say it's gender neutral, it's a staff bearer. Neither he nor she, but your character is trying to figure out what has happened to the people who were before him, because now the planet is completely abandoned. And so to do this, you'll have to solve puzzles using light that you'll collect from around the world. And then you'll also need to find light orbs in each level. When you find 3 orbs, it will activate a shrine. The shrine then activates a puzzle. And once you complete the puzzle, you can dip and go to the next area. In every single level, there is an area where you can meditate. And then once you meditate, you can then press Y on the controller and it will give you like a little light map over your head. So, and with a little bit of guidance as to where the orbs and other items that you may be looking for are. For the most part, the game is like, oh, just explore. There's no punishment. If you die, there's probably a checkpoint close by and it's not going to take us long to respawn you there. At worst, if you fall off of something, you're not going to die, but you do like splat onto the ground and your little light orbs will scatter, but you get to pick them back up. They don't go away.
It's like Sonic rings.
Yeah, like Sonic rings, but you get to just pick them right back up. They don't fade off or anything like that. If you drown again, it's just, it doesn't punish you. It's just like, oh, well, here you are back at the checkpoint. It's very much take your time, look around, and enjoy the world we've built. There are hidden collectibles that will help push the story and along a little bit. They're almost like diary entries, if you will, that are kind of just hanging out in different places. There's 3 in every level. There, even though you only need 3 of the orbs to open the puzzle, there are more than that in each level. And if you want to get the achievements, you have got to complete the game by 100 while 100%ing every area. Now, for the most part, I would normally be like, this isn't a bad thing because there is chapter select after you beat it and you could just go back. But if you go back and recomplete the area, it doesn't count toward completing the game with 100%.
Oh, that sucks.
You have to do all of that in one shot.
No
kind
way.
of just a weird extra requirement. So let people get all of the collectibles.
It's really odd given that you can go back with chapter select.
I wonder if they're meant to be able to get it and it's just glitched or something.
I don't know. It works if you do it all in one run, according to TA. I did not do it all in one run. I was just like, hey, I'm here for looks. But yeah, apparently if you do it all in one run, it works. But if you go back, chapter select, that didn't work. I can tell you that one for sure. Which is a shame because I don't understand the point of making it to where you can't go back if you're not going to let it pop the achievement. That said, everything else about it is fine. The platforming could use a little tightening up. There are some areas where I 100% hit jump and he just walked off the edge and went splat.
Get good,
and
scrub.
I'm sitting there going, I know I pushed that button. There's only a couple of buttons that work, and I'm pretty sure I know when I pushed one. So there's definitely like it's minor, and because there's no real punishment for fucking up, I wasn't overwhelmingly mad about it, but I would like to see them work on just polishing that button responsiveness for the platforming just a little more.
Oh, well, overall, $19. What do you think of Omno?
Absolutely beautiful game. If you're playing it to experience, I give it a buy it. If you're playing it for the achievements, I hope you've got a guide. Because that's the only way you get in that completion.
Or just play it since it's on Game Pass.
No.
Yeah. At that point, it's a fuck it, why not, right? But, make sure you have a guide if you're playing it for the completion. But as it is, I still enjoy it enough that I think it's worth a buy it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, next game is Skydrift Infinity, developed by THQ Nordic, published by HandyGames, released July 29th on Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and PC for $14.99. Skydrift Infinity is an action-packed arcade game focusing on the experience of flying alone and with others in a light, quick, fast-paced style. Jacob, tell us about your time with Skydrift Infinity.
So, the game that I would easily, or most likely compare Skydrift Infinity to is actually Blur, an older arcade-style racing game on the Xbox 360. That was essentially Mario Kart, but with actual cars. And this one has pretty much like this, almost the same exact power-ups as that one did, except this one's with planes. And so you've got way more freedom for movement as you're going through all these different, all these different courses in various planes that you're able to unlock as you play more and more of the game. So the more you progress, the more planes you unlock. You can also unlock skins and some other stuff for them. But, as I said, there's power-ups. So, obviously, you have, missiles, you have guns, you have a mine that you can leave behind. There's an EMP that you can use. There's a shield. And the other one is the repair function, which, as I said, actually, I'm pretty sure that Blur used almost all of these. Joe, do you remember it? Do you remember?
I don't remember all the power-ups in Blur, but I think
that's what they were.
Yeah.
So with that, you have to move through various courses, and it's the standard, action adventure stuff. There are jungle, there's desert, there's a volcano one. The volcano one's actually pretty exciting. My kid liked that one. But it's just the usual, I would say standard fare for these kind of plane racing games. They're nice and varied. Of course, they do occasionally do like the reverse courses with them, so technically you have more. Which I'm always a little annoyed when racing games do that, because I feel like they're just padding out the number of tracks that they have. Because I know the Sonic games will do that too with mirrored courses, and even Burnout did that too. Way back in the day, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's nighttime now."
That's pretty standard fare for racing games, and it is a bit deceitful.
It's just like,
this is Carnage is saying that this is basically the same game as Skydrift from the 360 days, just spruced up and prettied and
Skydrift. Oh, geez. Well, shows how much research I fucking did.
Well, it's a delisted game. I don't think I have it either, so I'm glad that this has come around in a remastered or re-released fashion.
I'm just like, watch I had it back in the day, and I just don't even remember it. Actually, there's a
even better.
Doesn't matter. Keep going.
Anyway, so going back with this, there is an online component to it, but unfortunately, I never found any games open. So unfortunately, I didn't get to test the online with anybody. But there is a supposed plot to the game with their campaign, and it's really just you just go from one race to another, and then after you've got first, second, or third in so many races, you unlock the next chapter, quote unquote. There's no real plot to it. It's just here's more races, yay, and you have to do more things, and it's like, yeah, you can either do survival. Or sorry, not survival, but like a standard race, try to get in first place. There is survival elimination, where, a timer starts going and whoever's in last place gets knocked out. One of the things I thought was interesting, I actually had one race where more than two people got knocked out because they were all in the same, because they hadn't made it to a certain line before that. Usually with most elimination games I've played, it's whoever's just in last place.
Yeah, at the end of the countdown, last place is gone.
Right. Yeah, this one, it's just you have to be at a certain area by a certain time, otherwise you're screwed. Which I thought was kind of nice. Now, the controls are nice, and the game does have a nice little tutorial thing, which Joe didn't realize that it ends eventually.
I had it muted. I was playing the tutorial for 10 minutes. I had 5 laps on it, and I'm like, when the hell does this thing end? And apparently there was an audio prompt telling you that it ended, but I had it muted because I was listening to Rock Band streams, which is what I always do when I'm playing games. So I didn't hear it. So I just kept flying.
So make sure you listen to the announcer in this game, because if
audio cues only are bad.
Fair enough, but the announcer does tell you, hey, it ended. The tutorial is the standard stuff. Here's how you fly. Here's how you do a knife position, which means that you turn your plane sideways for a full 180 angle. And here's all the upgrade, here's all the power ups. Here's how they're used, and you should be able to complete it in 3 laps. It's nothing that crazy. And the races, generally they felt pretty fair. The only issue that I really had with the games is that I felt like the ceiling was too low, and so the game would try to direct you from where you go. And I mean, you're in a plane. I should be able to go around oh damn it! It's not. What the hell do you call the rock formation where it's just it's almost like a tower. I don't know what you'd even call it.
A rock.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I should be able to go around the other side of the rock, but the game would be like, oh no, you have to go on the left side of it. That's it. Even though I'd be able to just scoot around it, just as is. And the game would end up crashing me, and then so I'd constantly go from first place to second or third, and then have to fight my way back to first. Sometimes not always getting it. Or the ceiling would be too low, and then it would bounce me down, and then I'd end up crashing into something else instead of being able to just fly over it. So I mean, like,
stay on the track.
I was on the track. You're in a damn airplane, man. Like, I mean, this isn't like Top Gun where it's just like, oh, you can't fly below 10,000 feet. Like, otherwise, you can't shoot the enemy. Like, it's not that. Like, you're racing. Come on.
There's rules to the race.
Shush. Anyway, as I said, the ceiling is really too low for it in some of the races. But honestly, I had a ton of fun with it. It's just a blast to do a bunch of races. Like, I mean, I was cursing at my TV a couple of times because, as I said, the AI would force you to go one way when it's obvious that, like, you should just be able to scoot right around a rock formation.
Oh, but, bitch.
Oh my God, shut up. I'm the one doing the review, not you. Anyway, but I had a ton of fun. I'd recommend it, and it's definitely worth picking up.
Well, then $14.99, what is your official verdict?
This cheap ass is absolutely. It's a lot of, as I said, it's a lot of fun if you're missing the kind of like arcade action that you used to get from like Crimson Skies, High Road to Revenge, or even just you miss games like Blur or the original Skydrift, as it were. This game's right up your alley. So yeah, this is a definite buy.
Cool. All right. Next game to talk about, we're going to take another look at Madness Beverage, developed by Console Labs, published by PlayWay and Blue Sunset Games. Released July 28th on Xbox One for $18.99. Become a space pirate and fight demons that were set free by the evil villain Monos. Travel through alien planets, forgotten caves, old castles, and its dark corridors. And remember, be wary of what's lurking in the dark. CJ, you wanted to check this one out, so tell us, what is Madness Beverage?
Oh, boy. Joe. I know I asked for this, but I feel like I've been punished anyway.
Wait, did Joe tell you I also played it?
Yes, he did.
Okay. All right. I'll chime in on certain stuff, but CJ definitely has a lot to say about this.
I've already spent way too much time talking, so let's just keep going. Madness Beverage is a first-person shooter that aims to, grab the nostalgia from the 90s and early 2000s shooters, and honestly kind of fails to do that because some of the elements of old school FPS are completely missing. But it does have some solid gameplay and some good elements, so I'll get into what the story's about first. The premise of the game is simple. You play as a space pirate named Caleb who intercepts a transmission from Manos, a large purple alien.
I'm just going to interrupt on this. Yeah. In your review, you had said that he reminds you of one of the butt ugly Martians.
Yes.
And after I read that, I was just like, oh damn, I can't unsee this.
Yeah, the side by side is uncanny. The whole concept of the storyline is kind of weird because he says he closes the gates of hell and to control all the demons, and it doesn't really make sense. Like, you'd think you'd open them to get them to this world. How are they going to get here if they're closed? But he says basically that he frees people from their worries of death, and that his plans are to kill everybody and turn them into demons so that he can control everybody because he has control over demons for some unexplained reason. You go off to fight him at some castle base area. This kind of acts as a tutorial level, but they teach you nothing about the game. They just throw you in there until you start shooting. And then as soon as you walk in, they start spawning literally on your ass and right in front of you. Like, there is no breathing room at all. You walk in and you immediately have a bunch of enemies right on you. I do kind of wish that the spawns were a little bit further separated or more obvious what's causing them to spawn, like Purnell said last week. It just doesn't really have any rhyme or reason behind it. You just have a ton of enemies out of nowhere. But sometimes it does make sense. This game's whole structure of missions is basically you go to an area, you walk in a room, you get locked in, you have to kill all the enemies, the door unlocks, you walk a couple hallways, and you get stuck in another room. And you have to kill all the enemies, and then unlock the door, and then find a button to unlock another door, and then kill more enemies while you're locked in a room again.
And the buttons aren't always obvious either. And then, toss in some crappy platforming along with it.
Oh, God. Fucking hell. That level. That fucking level.
All right. Yeah, but here's the thing, CJ. You're just saying that fucking level, that fits the description for a bunch of them.
There's some decent levels in the game, but the fucking
hub world.
Russian level. The rush. Oh, I have so many problems with the fucking hub world, especially the fact that on the store it advertises it as this great space base that you can do all these things. The only thing you can do there is talk to Zeos to get another madness drop or a madness beverage once you get a drop and refill your grenades. They have gun stores, but you can't even refill your ammo there. And your ammo carries over from level to level. So if you run out of ammo at the end of one level, you're just fucked for the next level.
Like, you think, like, if you're in a spaceship, you could just pop over to, like, a gun shop on some other planet and refill your gun.
There is a gun shop, but you can't use it. Why? It's just, it doesn't make sense. It says gun on the wall. But anyway, speaking of the madness beverages, since I already brought them up, that's your basically unique mechanic to the game that tries to separate it from other shooters. These drinks kind of act as these power-ups that you can drink that the animation takes ungodly long for some reason, so they're hardly useful. And most of the drinks have a negative that comes with the benefit that overpowers the benefit, like the blue drink, where you take 25% more damage if you drink it, and all that it happens when you do drink it is that your bullets auto lock on enemies and track them. So why would I want, if I can aim, I don't want that.
Yeah, but I mean, that would be helpful if the bullets actually did damage.
Oh, you know what? One of my biggest problems with the weapons, especially the assault rifle, while it is a workhorse gun that's reliable, is the amount of ridiculous trigger flashing. Like, it's so bright when it hits the enemy, and it's so expansive.
Yeah,
the animation that you can't see the enemy.
That's actually one of my issues trying to shoot the flying enemies, because then I can't see where they're at, and I have to hope that they're still there. And so I end up having to stop shooting 2 or 3 times, and then go, just to kill this damn thing, just so I can figure out where exactly they still were. God. And then the shotgun barely does any damage, or it doesn't. It's nowhere near as doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as other games, and it's just so much of this game is broken.
Also, my biggest problem with the shotgun, aside from the lack of damage, is the fact that it sounds like you're throwing chalk at a chalkboard. There's no satisfying boom that you're supposed to get with a shotgun. And I think it's supposed to be some kind of nail gun, technically, a nail shotgun. So I guess the sound kind of makes sense. But it shoots 4 nails at once in a single shot. You'd think the thing would destroy anything in its way. And instead it does mediocre damage. The only enemies that die immediately are the little walker demons.
Man.
Yeah. But again, I do want to say there are things that I actually liked about this game. I'm not going to shit all over it like everybody else. I don't believe in doing that, because devs are people too, and they deserve to see some of their work that they did right, displayed. Because I don't think that they've gotten enough credit in certain areas. Certain levels are actually pretty well designed. I've really liked the space station level where not space station, I should say secret base is what it's called, where you're in this secret base, obviously, and you get to pick up this gun called the small fucking gun. Which, if you've played Doom, which everybody knows what the fuck the BFG is in Doom. If you don't know that, you don't play first-person shooters. So, that's a great reference, and it's a good level. It has a fun layout. It's really short. You just go, to the right, or no, it's to the left. You go in, you go to the left, you press a button, it unlocks the door on the far right. You go to the far right, you press a button in that room, it opens up the middle path, and then you have a couple of big arenas where you can shoot enemies, and then solve a quote puzzle at the end of the level to get your madness drop. And then it's the only level where you actually have to run the whole way back to your ship. You can't just immediately end the level as soon as you pick up the drop. But honestly, I think that the best part about the game is just the rocket launcher. That thing is fucking great. As much as I hated most of the weapons in the game, the rocket launcher is so fucking satisfying to use. Because it just gives them.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead. It gives them.
I was going to say, I enjoyed the minigun as well.
Oh, yeah. That was a good weapon. I didn't really discuss the power weapons. But you don't get them until super late in the game, which is kind of weird. I mean, I guess technically you can get them at the beginning of the game.
Well, once you get past the hub, once you decide which mission you're going to do, you get the minigun on that alien jungle world one. So I mean, like, you can get it technically pretty early. It's just whether you really want to deal with the bullshit of the game. Like, I just, here's my thing. Like, meanwhile, like, that jungle one is just so poorly put together, and it's one of the issues that I have with all the different levels is that it really feels like they were trying to do, like, they had come up with concepts for like 5 different games and then realized none of them were really working. So let's just make them like levels for this other game that we're going to do. And the Alien Jungle one is just constant, like, running back and forth between point A to point B, which wouldn't be like so bad, except your character moves so damn slowly, and their jumping is just such a small, tiny jump. I mean, it's like when my youngest kid is just like, look at how high I can jump, or far I can jump. And it's like, dude, you jumped like 1.5 feet. Like, you didn't.
That's better than you can do.
Hey, speaking of your sprinting, speaking of the sprinting, man, the fact that you have to always be holding the thumbstick down to sprint is an immediate killer. Because when you go to play it naturally, you would press the thumbstick down and then you'd push forward and you would eventually let go of the thumbstick. But you'd still be pushing forward, and in most games you'd still be running and sprinting.
Yeah, it's like a
That's
toggle
called the toggle.
to sprint. Yeah.
Yeah. This game doesn't have an option for toggle. It is just hold. And the same thing applies to the crouch button, which is B. How are you ever going to aim a gun while holding the crouch button?
Yeah. And it's just, and on top of it, it's just like going back with like the level design, like so much, like everything about the game is slow, you know, like when it shouldn't be. And it's just like you're watching like whole entire parts of like the background have to load up, like while you're doing it, and your turning is so, like, again, it's slow. And yeah, you can go in there and you can crank up the sensitivity all the way to the top. To like 100%, and it's still like the default setting for like the original Halo, which is to say it's still pretty damn slow, and it's just like this game is just so the game is just so damn frustrating from start to finish, and on top of it, like, you're playing it on easy, and yet your ammo drops are still like not always particularly there.
It's not balanced, because there's some levels where you have so much ammo at your disposal that you can take down a whole army, and then there's other levels where you couldn't even take down a small platoon because there's just not any ammo available.
Right, and then it's just like once you're out of ammo, you're really screwed. And then the checkpoints between everything is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, going back to that jungle level one, which just blew my mind, like, you know, this was considered satisfactory. There's a part where you have to hop on these rocks, but when you do it, you have to you have to hit the buttons, which are these other little rocks, which the game doesn't exactly make obvious at first that this is the thing that needs to be hit. And it's just like the stones come up out of the lava, and then they go back down. But it's just your guy runs so damn slow, and you jump like nothing. That is just like it's on par with that Russian level. Like, it's just.
I'm surprised you feel that way. I honestly didn't think the alien level was that bad, aside from the fact that it's all like long corridors that are just connected together. It's all just one barren corridor, but.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like they pad it out by just making this big, huge room, or like, you know, this big, huge level, and then it's all this constant back and forth between multiple locations, and it just.
I'm going to have to jump in here. I think we've been talking about this game way too long, especially considering that this is our second review of it. So I need to know, $19. What do you guys think of this game?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's an easy deny it.
What would you do to fix it?
I would change it so that the weapons actually give you feedback when you shoot things, because there's no hit markers, there's no vibration in the controller, and there's no way to know when an enemy's dead, especially with the fucking assault rifle having such a huge bloom. And then honestly, The level design can't be fixed. You'd have to redo the entire level for some of these levels.
A lot of the levels are just not very well made. And when Joe asked my initial thoughts, I said it felt like somebody played through Duke Nukem Forever, thought that this was going to be the pinnacle of first-person shooters / platforming. It was like, yo, we need to make this with a retro feel to it, and it's just poor through and through. And what also made it worse is that when I was playing this on my Xbox One, if I popped on the retro filter, the game actually moved quicker. And
I never used that. I didn't even think to really bother with it.
I did it just out of curiosity, and the game actually loaded quicker for me if I was using the retro filter, which I'm just like, buddy, it's 2021. Like this game's graphics are, 20. I'm not even sure if they're from this decade. But
I was going to say 2010.
Yeah, probably, but it's just like, why do I have to put on this retro filter to make the game actually work somewhat better? No, just there would have to be such a huge overhaul with this game that I can't.
Well. All right, well that's it for you two. I guess we'll kick you the hell out of the show now.
Sounds good.
God.
Good stuff. All right, do either of you have any final words before we let you go and move on with the rest of the show?
Yeah, sure. Buy Madness Beverage.
Buy Skydrift Infinity. A game that I will actually keep playing.
Oh, Lord. Okay, get the hell out of here. We got show to do. Take it easy, guys. All right, moving on. Cole, you ready?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Nope.
Okay, next game to talk about is Fishing Adventure, developed by MasterCode, published by Ultimate Games, released August 13th on Xbox One and Series X and S for $9.99. Fishing Adventure is a typical fishing game where the player can catch different fish species, fish in the USA, Hawaii, and other unique fisheries. Cole, tell us about Fishing Adventure.
It's fishing!
Yay!
This is one of the more pared down fishing games. This is one that's 100% suitable for people who think they don't know shit about fishing. It is not in any way trying to be a hardcore fishing simulator. Okay?
Okay.
I will say visually, it sounds so rude. This probably could have been on the 360. It is not one of the best looking fishing games I have played.
No, I'm looking at screenshots and it's
not okay. If you're not worried about that and you're like, oh, I don't know if I enjoy fishing games. I don't know if I want to put in the money and time for something like a dovetail fishing simulator, or would I even like that? That's where this game kind of sets. It's definitely suitable for people who are just looking to dip their toe into a fishing game. And that's okay. It could look nicer. It could. But it's okay where it's at as well. The fish models are actually pretty solid. You can tell the differences between them when you pull them out of the water. But the UI is very simplified. It's actually kind of a pain in the ass because when you're in the shop, it doesn't give you any kind of UI information as far as what you can do with the things that you buy. That's probably because, again, it's very much not trying to be a simulator.
No.
But there's enough simulator element to it that I really wish it would give more information, oh, you're about to buy this type of bait and it's going to catch these type of fish. That's more a me thing. People who play hardcore simulators, they know what kind of bait's going to catch what kind of fish. And even though I play a lot of hardcore fishing simulators, my number one gripe is I don't fish enough in real life to know. And my idea of fishing is throwing chicken that has been sitting in Kool-Aid in the water, okay? Because that's how we fish for catfish in real life. So I need more information about the different types of baits and what I'm going to catch with them and what kind of situation it's good to use them in, because I just don't know. So again, that is my beef with this one too, is that there's enough of a simulator element where certain types of bait catch certain types of fish, but it doesn't tell you what that is.
So it's kind of like a guessing game.
There's one quest. Okay, let me back up for a second. In addition to free fishing, you also have quests. And the quests are pretty simple. They're like, catch 5 fish within 10 minutes, right? 10 real life minutes. Easy peasy. But they do get a little more complicated at times where they're like, catch 5 of this specific type of fish. The problem is especially when you're first starting out, you're not sure what type of bait is going to catch that fish, and it doesn't tell you that. So just, I beg, if you're ever going to make a fishing game, any of them, Dovetail, kudos to them, they do this. But every other one other than Dovetail does not do this. Just tell me what the bait's going to catch, okay? Tell me if the line I'm going to buy, the fishing line I'm buying, if it's going to be able to catch a fish that weighs a certain amount of weight. Tell me basics. Pare it down.
Yeah.
Especially, this gets under my skin so much more with this game too, because in every other way, it's so pared down, right? It's, you don't have to like worry about leaning your pole left or right the right kind of way when you're reeling a fish in. It's literally just pull the trigger and it reels the fish in. As long as you don't have your tension set too high, you're going to get whatever you get. Whereas usually like really hardcore fishing sims are like, no, you have to move your pole in the opposite direction. You got to tire it. Hell, even Sea of Thieves makes you do that. This one's just like, nah, it's cool. Just don't set the tension too high. With casting, again, it's like hold X. The longer you hold it, the further it goes. There's no special, flicking your analog sticks. I don't mind the pared downness of it, and I think it could be suitable for people who don't know if they like fishing and all that. But they just missed the mark on other areas that really lets them wiggle their way into that beginner niche. And they need that beginner niche with this game because it doesn't hold up enough otherwise.
My biggest concern, like I got red flags with this one just because the description on the Xbox page says game is quite simple, designed to run even at older computers.
Yeah, they didn't even bother.
One of the main features is advanced graphics settings for older computers.
Yeah.
Are there any graphics settings in the game for Xbox?
No.
Nothing?
No.
I didn't know if maybe they had some, I don't know.
No, you've got start and stop. Exit to menu.
No, it's $10.
Audio.
What do you think of Fishing Adventure?
I will say this. If you're looking for a fishing game to kind of like play mindlessly and get some quick achievements, because there's only 13 achievements, the biggest pain in the ass is the one that wants you to catch 22,000 pounds worth of fish.
Oh my God.
But again, if you're catching the larger ones, you're still going to chew through that pretty quickly. So realistically, you could play this and like make an easy-ish 1K out of it with just a little bit of time. And I'm not mad at some mindless fishing, but it isn't pretty. And it's beginner suited without being beginner friendly. So you need to keep that in mind as well. So I'm going to go with kind of a hesitant try it because I don't really know where it's going and who it's properly suited for. It's just kind of like an outdated game with outdated graphics that is arcadey but not paired or not friendly enough. I didn't hate it, but I sound like I do. Right?
It could be better, but if you're looking for mindless fun,
it could be worse. Listen. I've played worse.
Yeah.
But it could also be better.
No. All right, well, next game to talk about is called Solos, developed and published by Create Something Interesting, released August 4th on Xbox One for $9.99. Solos is an action puzzle game with over 100 levels. The goal of the game is to shoot all the bad blocks without hitting yourself in the process. It's a twin-stick, create-your-own bullet hell. Cole, what is Solos?
You ever wanted to sit in a bullet hell of your own making? That's what Solos is. It looks like it's a piece of paper that somebody has scratched out some boxes on. And then you've got a red orb that looks very much like coronavirus. They should probably change that sprite. Not the time for that one. But you get this little red orb and you just shoot yellow bullets. And the yellow bullets bounce around, and in very breakout fashion, you take out the blocks that are floating around in the area. The problem is that unlike breakout, if your balls hit you, you're done here, and you got to start all over. So you're shooting out as many bullets as you want, essentially, to try to clear the field without hitting yourself. So once you send all those out there ricocheting, bouncing around, and you gotta dodge them. So it's like Breakout meets Bullet Hell. It's a simple concept with 150 fucking levels. We're overstaying our welcome a little bit. By around level 60, I was like, little done here. Probably don't want to try to play it all in one setting. There are videos. It's an easy completion. Just shoot 1 or 2 bullets and dodge those and let it take everything out. That'll take you 700 years on some of these levels because sometimes you got to hit shit more than once. And I cannot tell you how many times I was shooting out bullets and then dodging them, and I get down to only having 1 or 2 more blocks left to hit, and I would get nipped by my own bullet.
Proud of you.
So mad. Traumatized by this transgression. But I had fun. It's a simple concept that they do a good enough job of like compounding and adding to. They even add in some later levels, like there's blocks that will stick your bullets to them, and then your bullets aren't moving around, but you sure as shit are, and you're probably gonna touch them on your own accord. So they do a good job of like shaking things up every little bit. Like I said, I did feel a little like it was kind of overstaying its welcome, but I was playing in a long stretch, and that was my biggest mistake. I think this is one of those games that you're better suited to sit down and play through 5 or 10 levels and then turn it off for a while.
Gotcha.
Unless you really, really want that achievement and are like committed to it, but you're more likely to hate the game than if you just kind of mindlessly play it here and there for a little bit. Which is how I ended up doing. I started off, I haven't 1K'd it yet because like I said, there's 150 fucking levels. But I started off like, yeah, I'm just gonna like chew through this and be real quick. And then the more I was trying to just let it go and be slow about it more, I was like, I'm not enjoying it because I'm not actually playing it like this. And once I just decided to play it and be strategic and enjoy it for what it was, the more I enjoyed it.
Go figure. When you play a game the way it's meant to be played, it's enjoyable.
Yeah. If you just shoot 1 or 2 bullets, then it gets really boring really quickly.
Oh, don't do that.
There. Yeah.
Just play the goddamn game. So $10 on Solos.
I didn't realize when I was doing the 1 and 2 bullet things that the later levels were so big that it would take such a long time to clear that way. So it's just more fun, more enjoyable if you just take the risk and go for it. But I had a good time with it. Like I said, just 150 fucking levels, man. You're getting your money's worth, I guess. Yeah. How much did you say it was?
$10.
Yeah, I give it a buy it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, up next is Castle of Pixel Skulls DX, developed by Josep Monzonis Hernandez, published by 2 awesome partners, released August 4th on Xbox One, Series X and S for $4.99. Castle of Pixel Skulls is a fun retro-style platformer filled with fun and crazy hurdles. Play challenging levels in a race against time in order to escape. Will you have what it takes to survive? Cole, did you have what it takes to survive?
Barely. I made it to level 20. Normally with these games, I have a rule that I'll play past whatever the achievement's for so that I can brag that I played past it. If I can beat it, great. If I can't, go as long as I can, right? I got to 20 and I put it down and I was like, my hands hurt and I'm sad. Joe said this was an easy one. He lied to me.
I didn't say it was easy. I said it could be easy-ish because
you lied.
Because you only had to do 20 of the 50 stages or 40 stages.
Yep. Yeah. So this is one of those platformers where you're jumping over, dodging things. Problem is one hit death, but there are checkpoints throughout. You don't have any abilities. Can't shoot. Can't slide. Can't crouch. It's just go left, go right, jump. Go left, go right, jump. And you have to dodge disappearing platforms and other enemies walking around and arrows that are the bane of my existence and these big giant gnasher things that will come down and crush you and big giant chainsaw things that come up out of the ground and fuck up your world. The biggest gripe that I have with this game is that I very quickly noticed a lot of segments being reused. Even though you only had to play a level 20, I counted at least 4 different places that I can remember off the top of my head right now, where a segment of enemies were set up in one area and were exactly identical in another level later on. That's kind of a lot. Enough of the levels are changed that if I were a normal person who wasn't like A, trying to break the game, and B, looking for shit to bitch about, I probably wouldn't notice. Right?
Yeah.
But like my whole job is to come here and tell you, hey, I noticed this shit in your game. So I have to point that out. That like I noticed there were several instances where segments were reused. Again, in general, most stuff has changed enough that it's fine. So that's really my only major gripe. The other gripe is that it's a platformer and the buttons could be a little more consistent. There was one area where I was trying to leap from platform to platform. The platforms disappeared. They were all the same distance apart, but it took me 30 tries to get to the top because sometimes I would just fall even though I was just pressing A repeatedly to go up.
I've noticed I would jump on something and the platform would be moving up and down and I would hit the button to jump, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, I had that happen in some instances too. My biggest was the terrible part was these were all stationary other than just like disappearing and coming back. They were all the same distance apart and they were not moving up and down in any kind of way. So if I press A and I make the jump the first time, the second time I'd press A, I should make the jump. It's the same distance, but I go straight down. And I couldn't figure it out for the life of me what was making the difference and whether or not I made it or not. It was just, it got so bad that I could tell when I was going to fuck up and not hit it and prepare myself, because if you didn't hit it and the other ones were disappeared below you, you would just go down into the lava. But if you pressed left, you could hug the wall, slide down the wall, and get to the platform to the left and not have to restart over at the checkpoint. When it took me so many failures that I figured out a way to avoid the fucking failure, but not succeed. That's kind of a problem. You know?
Yeah.
That's my biggest gripe. Otherwise, pretty solid platformer. It's fun. I got through it. I was laughing while I was playing it. I had a good time. But when it did fuck up, boy, it would do it really hardcore.
I gotta say it's not that bad for a solo developer. It says on the store page, indie developer, solo developer, and was in development for about a year. So for a 1-year project, I think it's pretty solid. $5. What's your verdict?
Yeah, I kind of want to go with like a fuck it, why not? Because it's not bad in a way that I want to be like, no, you shouldn't play this. But it does have like some elements that need polished a little more, particularly with that jumping shit. Being worked like that. But if I hadn't have run into that, I'd been like, oh yeah, buy it. It's great. But that's kind of a problem that definitely needs fixed.
No. All right, next game is Untitled Darkness, developed and published by 8-Bit Pixel Games, released August 10th on Xbox One, Series X and S for $3.99. Untitled Darkness is a short game that deals with depression. Cole, what is it?
It is a short game that deals with depression.
All right, $4. What do you say?
Short game, get short review, get fucked. No. I'm sorry.
Developers like, aw, really? That's it?
The guy's got depression already, and here I'm just like, no, fuck you, make a longer game.
You are such an asshole.
This is definitely one of those like slice of life kind of games where you're just experiencing the story. It's not really gonna shake your world, but if you are a person who has dealt with depression or experienced the kind of experiences that are represented as memories in the game, I can see where it would be like kind of poignant. You're basically this very stylized humanoid character with 3 fingers for whatever. I really like the like alien-esque appearance of the humanoids. It was really interesting. And you're basically walking from door to door. As each room opens up, it'll have a couple of memories that tie together in it. You'll walk up to the memory sequence on the wall. Usually has sparkles, so you know which one you need to be checking out first. And then you can click on it by like pressing A and to interact with it, and then you'll get like a little short animation that kind of fills in the story and then shows you what kind of effect that had on the character. So you want to experience all the memories, and then once you've cleared a room of its memories, everything is just walk left, walk right, walk left, walk right. It's not anything. This is definitely meant to just be like an interactive story kind of thing, as opposed to like what you would think of as a game with puzzles or anything like that. Once you clear a room of its memories, and you'll walk the opposite direction when a door opens, then you'll have another room with more memories until you get through them all, and then you'll be able to receive the ending. There are 2 endings. If you want to complete the game, you're going to have to play it twice. Once to get the good ending, once to get the bad ending. I will say this game does deal with self-harm, and you may want to take that into consideration before you pick it up.
Well, it's $4. Is it worth picking up?
Yeah, I think it is. Like I said, I feel like the story could have been a little more poignant for somebody who had experienced the story beats. Like, it deals with like parent divorce and relationship woes and things like that. And these are kind of things that like I don't have a touchstone for. So I kind of look at it like through this lens of like, I don't understand why your parents getting divorced would make you feel like you're unlovable, you know? But hey, if that's the way the guy felt, that's the way the guy felt, right?
And a lot of people go through that. They feel like they're the issue. My parents divorced when I was 1. So I never knew the idea of having 2 parents at home. I just thought it was normal that they only had 1.
And see, I think for me, because, my parents were married for 48 years. They died 3 years apart. So I don't have that touchstone, so it's a little harder for me to like connect with the story they were trying to tell. But I get that it is a touchstone for a lot of people, and I think if you're the kind of person who might like, what's the word I'm looking for? Starts with an R. Anyway, it might appeal to others who have been through those kind of experiences more than me, but I don't think it was bad, and I did not enjoy the story just because I didn't necessarily connect with it.
How long of the game do you think it is?
Oh, it was seriously like maybe 15 minutes or so.
Not bad.
It's really short. I will say, though, you can't use the analog stick. You have to use the D-pad.
Weird.
Yeah, I was like, what? Why is it broken already? I didn't actively try to break it yet. Calm down. And then I realized that it was the D-pad.
Proud of you. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get Aki in here. We got 2 more games to talk about. Let's pull her in here. Hopefully
we
Skype.
Have to.
Yeah, we do.
All right, fine.
Unavailable. I bet her Skype crashed.
Hope so. I mean, it's Dr. Pepper time.
It did not crash. I closed it immediately and then opened it.
Proud.
Before I heard you say that you were inviting me in.
All right, well, you got 2 games to talk about. Well, 1 game and some DLC to talk about. The first to talk about is Clan O'Connell and the Crown of the Stag, developed and published by HitGrab, released April 28th on Steam for $14.99. Master the powers of 3 Celtic heroes in this hand-drawn action platformer, solve challenging puzzles, slay unworldly demons, and cross beautiful landscapes by swapping instantly between characters, featuring an all-original Celtic soundtrack and art and mythology drawn from Celtic tradition. Aki, tell us about Clan O'Connell and the Crown of the Stag.
Okay, it's an action platformer with some puzzles occasionally. The 3 people you play as are the kids of the current king who wears the stag crown. Haggis, a gigantic berserker, brute of a man. Kilcannon, the swordsman, and then Clackshot, the pretty sister of the group, who's also a ranger. And they're, for some reason, I don't fully understand the entirety of the story, but at some point, someone way in the fucking past saved some fae or helped some fae. And then that fae gave them antlers to put on their crown, and apparently the crown became magical or something. And then every king has worn it since then. That's the stag crown right there. And apparently there's some evil fae lady who decides, no, the humans don't get that crown no more. She wants that crown because it's going to make her powerful somehow. So she decides to attack, and that's fun. And she takes your daddy, and this is pretty much just all 3 of you just trying to fucking get to the bitch, take her down, and get your dad back. The interesting thing about this game is you don't, choose one of the characters to play as. You're all 3 at the same time. You have a button that switches you to the next character in line or backwards through prior characters in the line. So you have access to all 3 of them just at a push of a button, and you immediately swap out with them. Even if you've jumped in the air, they'll be swapped out in the air, which becomes useful later on, even though it gets complicated. Each one of them has their own special ways of attacking, because again, one's a swordsman, one's an archer, and the other one's a big fucking brute. Who might as well be the Celtic version of the Incredible Hulk. And with all their ways of attacking, they also have unique things that only they can do. For instance, Haggis, the big brute, he can wind up his punches like Popeye the fucking Sailor Man, and then smack them into a giant stone and just shatter it into pieces. He can also cannonball through other bits of stone underneath him. Kilcannon is able to use a cape he wears to jump into hot air that's rising and just float up. He's also able to glide with it. And he has a shield, so he can block attacks and stuff, which is pretty nifty. The Clackshot, the archer, is able to do the Samus roll. And if you upgrade her right, she can even drop bombs like Samus, which is great. She eventually also gets a hook that she can throw up on things and swing across areas. So they all have their unique roles to play throughout the platforming as well. Because you can't usually bypass an area that one of them would be useful for. So it's like, oh, I just have to switch to this character, get through this, and then I can switch to whoever the fuck I want. But I have to do this little bit as this specific character because they're the only one who can get through it. Which is interesting until you get later in the levels, and they're like, yeah, here you have like split seconds to flip from one character to another. Use their ability. Use the different ability real quick. Switch to another character. All without touching the ground or having a break, and it gets really fucking hard. Combat is mostly okay. There's a certain amount of enemies in every level, and it actually tells you how many enemies are in that level, because you have fairies to collect, enemies to beat, and secrets to find in every level, and it tells you how many of each are in each level. Because once you collect everything and kill all the enemies and all that fun shit, you get fairies to upgrade your characters with. Why it's fairies, I have no fucking clue. But it's fairies. So you know exactly how many enemies there are, and it wants you to kill all of them and collect everything, like the whole 100%. The only issue that comes about for combat is more that often there, in every handful of levels, there's basically an arena that you get stuck in, and enemies just spawn and spawn and spawn, and usually you will kill almost all, if not all, the enemies of that level in that one area. Problem with that is you also don't get any fucking health in that area, so you just get whittled down and whittled down and whittled down until you die and have to restart the whole fucking thing all over again for like 20, 30, 40 fucking times in a row before you finally manage to do it, which can get irritating in the later levels because you get lots of bigger enemies that really do a lot of damage, and it's just not always easy to dodge all the attacks because they might throw like 10, 12 people at you that are small, and then maybe one or two huge ones that are just hard to kill. It's like they overwhelm you very quickly. But that's not the only types of levels there are. There's 3 different types, and I've already named one of them, just the standard level with lots of platforming and occasionally the arena in there. There's also chase sequences. A giant boar, and when I say giant boar, I don't mean it's a boar the size of you. I mean it's like 4 or 5 stories fucking tall giant boar, for some reason decides to chase you in a few different levels. And it all becomes pure platforming, but it's under a timer because you have to stay ahead of the boar, because if the boar touches you, you die. And it occasionally gets stuck behind walls and stuff that it has to break through, and you have to solve a puzzle that's right immediately after that in order to get back to the platforming. But even while you're solving that, it's slowly breaking through the barrier. So if you're not fast enough, it can break through the barrier and kill you before you even get to the platforming section, which is not usually too much of a problem. There are a few where it might take you some time and you might fuck up once or twice and have to redo that section, but overall that's generally okay. I actually really like the chase sequences usually.
I'm not a big fan of chase sequences in games. Like that's what turned me off from Ori a little bit. Just the chase sequences after the bosses and shit like that.
Yeah, thankfully these aren't particularly hard for the most part. There's 1 or 2 hard sequences in it, but there's like 3 or 4 of them, I think. And they're not bad. And for me, what makes them more enjoyable is every fairy you collect, even if you die, stays collected in these levels. So you can just go, because you want to collect all the fairies so you can level your fucking characters up, or else you're never going to be able to continue. So you can just grab as many of them as you can, die, and then just finish the level without having to try to go out of your way to grab the fairies again after that. Yeah.
Overall, this one is sitting at $15. What are you thinking about it?
Oh yeah, I'm totally for it. I really liked it. The art style was nice. Boss battles are unique. You know, it can get annoying in the later games sometimes, But overall, it's pretty good. I liked it.
Cool. All right. Final game to talk about tonight is Zombie Army 4 Mission 9 Return to Hell. Developed and published by Rebellion, released August 3rd on Zombie Army 4 Dead War for $6.99. Also available as part of Season Pass 3 for $34.99. It's time to unravel the mysteries of the occult, learn the secrets of the zombie apocalypse, and venture deep into hell itself as you sprint to rescue a fallen ally from a fate worse than death, a space known only as the Void. Will the forces of the occult have their final victory, or will the bell toll for them? Aki, tell us about Return to Hell.
Okay, so in the last game, you helped the Baron, the big bad, and you knew they were the fucking big bad. You helped them get back to hell, and they brought you with them. And now you're in hell with the Baron, who you know is the big bad, listening to him to try and save your friend. Now tell me where you think your character might be a little derpy. Was it maybe when you decided to send the person you knew that was the big bad in charge of all the hell stuff to hell? Or is your character being really derpy when they decided that while in hell with this surprisingly powerful big bad that they would listen to the big bad and do what the big bad told them to do? Where do you think they went wrong?
All of it.
Yeah, pretty much. So you can probably guess how maybe good guys listening to the bad guy and just following his orders, how that maybe doesn't work all in their favor. Just a little bit, not in their favor. This mission is sadly once again one level long, and that's it. So in all, through all 3 missions, you've gotten as many levels as you usually get in a single mission. So, yay, I guess. This is a decently sized mission, again, just like 3 out of the 4 of them have been anyways. And this one, they finally went back towards having a decentish level. There were no fucking horde shit in this, and I'm so happy. So yeah, you're going through hell trying to get to and free your friend. And yeah, that's really all this one is you're just in hell. It's just a big level in hell where you're just trying to get to the different points to free your friend. That's it. At the end, there's a quasi boss battle, which is pretty nice. It has some blood fonts you have to deal with, but that's pretty much it.
Sounds kind of straightforward.
Yeah, it's a very straightforward level. Matter of fact, it's big, but every section of it that you need to go to is opened up when you need to go to it, and it's very clearly opened up because you have to go and interact with it to open it up, and then you just go into that area, and now you're in a new section of it. And it blocks off the old stuff so you can't go back through the areas that you don't need to go through. So you're not even going to get lost in this one, which is nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it for conversation about that goes.
Well, it's $7 on the mission. What are you thinking about the mission?
The mission itself, yeah, I think it's worth it. Because this is a return to form. This is a decent fucking level.
So it's a good ending to a somewhat mediocre season pass.
Yeah, to an exceptionally mediocre season pass, actually. I was kind of really sad by this one. It isn't anything compared to the first one. The first one is significantly better than this one, sadly. But it does end in yet another cliffhanger, so they are clearly going to milk this just that little bit more. I mean, it's already given out dust instead of milk, but they just need to milk it just that little bit more.
Hey, so, if it's selling, it's selling, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't mind picking up extra missions here and there and not having to buy a new game all the time. But kind of wish the season passes didn't have so many characters and guns and were just the levels.
Honestly, there's not even a lot of all of that. In every season pass, you get generally 3 weapons, 2 character skins. In the first one, you got a lot of characters because that's when they really introduced all the characters into it. But in most of them, you get at least 2 characters and 3 weapons, 3 new weapons. And In this pack, the 3 new weapons weren't particularly amazing. One of the characters looked really good. It was the French resistance fighter in a Nazi cult uniform, because she's a saboteur, and she looked good in it. But then you get all the headgear, and most of the headgear is just fucking these oversized goddamn masks that I don't find them particularly appealing. You get skins, which overwhelmingly are just kind of bland, and they only work for the main games. Charms, which are completely worthless because you can't even see them in game because they're so fucking small. They're effectively, for any of you who haven't played the game, phone strap charms. That's effectively all it is, but you put it on your gun instead, and it's just the same fucking size. So when you're playing the game, it's not like you can really ever see the fucking thing, so they're fucking useless. But you get a bunch of those, and then you get effectively mascot helmets, which are fucking hideous, because they're like, make your head 2 to 3 times bigger than it actually is, and it's just like, it looks stupid. And then you get weapon skins, which some of them are pretty nice. But this, I think you've gotten 3 of them through this. One of them was mostly hideous because it gave elemental looks to your guns, which just made them like the explosives ones. Guns that got the explosive trait were just bright yellow and had like the black and yellow danger coating around it and stuff. And it was like, that was hideous. The electric ones had blue on them, and that was hideous. And then you had the Van Helsing, which is the ones that just came out, which are fucking mostly gaudy looking because they've plated some of it gold, and gold plating on guns just looks stupid to me. It's like you get a bunch of stuff that's just kind of not very worthwhile in these. The main things you really want in these is maybe the extra character outfits. The new weapons are always nice just to have them. This pack, none of them were particularly amazing. And then the missions. All the rest of this stuff is fucking worthless.
So do you think it's worth just buying the missions separately, or is it worth picking up the season pass?
Personally, I would just go with the missions on most of the time, because you can, even if you got the season even if you choose not to get the season pass, you can even pick up these other DLC packs if you want them.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I don't want the charms,
sold a la carte if you just want to pick and choose.
Yeah. So yeah, I would just buy the fucking levels, unless you're like, oh, I'm going to buy everything, then get the season pass because it is cheaper.
All right. Well, that is it for this episode. Cole, we made it.
We did it.
I wasn't sure if you were still there or not.
Yeah, I'm here.
I wasn't sure we were going to make it because Jacob just kept fucking talking and talking and talking.
Yeah, that Madness Beverage review went way too long.
Yeah.
For a game we covered twice and apparently isn't that good. I think we talked about it. But, oh well, that's what we do on this show. We talk about things too much. So that is it for this episode. Thanks to you two for being here, hanging out, keeping me company. Thanks to CJ and to Jacob for coming on, doing their thing. Carnage says that's just madness.
Go away, Scotty.